we're back with quarterback of the Texas Red Raiders, Starsky Long. So, Starsky, you have 4 rings, but well, you don't have any right now. In particular, you don't have the one that I was looking for since you're engaged. But, you're out of the hot seat, so I'm just going to leave that alone. However, you do have 4 rings. Is there a ring goal that you're trying to accomplish before you actually retire, or is retirement even something that you're interested in?
Well, right now, I mean, to kind of reiterate on that engagement ring thing, I mean, as far as from a man's standpoint, that ring doesn't really go on until you say those words, I do. Now, as you know, for a lady like you, I mean, definitely, if a man was to approach you and ask you those, that famous question, and you were to accept, then I would ask you, okay, well, where's your ring at? But so definitely with that, I mean, like I say, regardless to with rings, I mean, those rings are put away. I mean, because like I say, that was a chapter in my life to where, believe me, I don't regret it, or I love that whole little time that I had and everything like that. So, I mean. And as far as retiring, I mean, I don't look at to retiring. That's one thing about it. Now, the only thing, I mean, with people want to know the question of what would it take for me to retire, and it's the man upstairs. Point blank, he has a meaning, he has purpose for all our lives, and, point blank, he'll let me know when it's time for me to shut it down. He'll give me that sign. That's one thing about it. You will know when that sign hits you, then when it's time to stop.
Wow, okay. So, you've been playing football basically your whole life. We're not going to, put your age on blast or anything like that. So, how many more years do you think you actually have in you? You've been playing football for about, 15 years now?
Yeah. I mean, to put it out there, I mean, I'm 31 years old. Everybody who's played against me, they know that already. So, definitely, the age is, it's not a factor to me. I'm not thinking about it that way. You are as young as you feel. And, as long as I stay healthy, eat right, stay in shape, I mean, I can go another 6, 7 years if I choose to, but that's not my goal. I don't plan on being, 34, 35, 36 years old, still trying to do this. There are a lot of young guys that I feel I can tutor, I can teach, and bring them up to be, the next part of what this big thing that we're building in the GCFA.
So do you think that, there's time for you to maybe become a coach or something like that? Because you already coach now, so is there a bigger picture that you're trying to accomplish? Is this strictly recreational, or are you just having fun?
Well, as of right now, I mean, yes, it's strictly recreational, and I mean, I have a couple of semesters left to get my degree in sports management, so that's definitely one of the main things that I want to do, possibly either getting into the high school aspect of coaching or anything like that. And also with, possibly, of course, returning at some point, possibly to coach as far as with the Wolverines or anything like, or the Red Raiders. And that's one of my main goals is, of course, like I said, but first and foremost is to get that degree. That way, I have something to fall back on, definitely. So that's one of the things that I'm working real hard at right now.
So again, as far as your Little League team, then that's what you tell them, that you must have a plan B and that education is very important. So when they ask you, or when they're, telling you that all they want to do is play football, what else can you tell them to do?
Well, I tell them, actually, football is plan B. Plan A is that education. That's just point blank. So that's one of the main focuses. When I'm having a conversation with one of them, 90% of this conversation is, like I said, it's about education, respect, and you loving yourself, loving your family. 10% is all, and then that's the football. That's the fun part of it. But I always reiterate that life is not all fun and games. Because, once again, in any sport, you're always one injury away from not playing that sport ever again. And so, and if that's all you depend on, and as we see with a lot of athletes, and I mean professionally, we've read it, we've seen it on TV. A lot of these athletes that don't know anything other than sports, and when they get hurt, they react real different. I mean, you look at the Vince Young case, I mean, a phenomenal athlete, got hurt for the first time ever in his career. We read all the things in the tabloids. We saw all the things on the news about him, doing things that wasn't in his character. So it's a situation of, that's what we want to try to shy away from. We want to keep in the kids' minds that it's not all about sports. Education is the key. That's what's going to get you where you really want to go.
Okay, so what's the name of your team again?
The Texas Red Raiders.
No, your Little League team.
That team is the Magnolia Park Sharks.
Okay, your Magnolia Park Sharks. You said that you have a no pass, no play. What else would they be able to do in order for them not to play?
Well, it's all about the way that you act. I mean, discipline, point blank. I mean, because you can't come out there. I mean, because we have a lot of cases. So I know you've seen it where you've seen a child somewhere out and about disrespecting their mom, disrespecting their dad, and you say to yourself, that couldn't be mine. And that's one thing that I try to instill in a lot of the kids, and that's one of the main things that I let the parents know when they're signing their kids on and they know I'm the coach. Right off the bat at the very first parent meeting, I hand out a piece of paper and I let them know, these are my expectations from your child. I know that there's no bylaw or anything in our rule book that states I can keep your child off the field for failing school, but this is what I expect. And so automatically, if you don't agree with any of these goals and any of these expectations that I have, pull me to the side and talk to me. Because if you don't care about their grades, then that lets me know you don't care about with this child's life. So that's one of the main things that I make sure that I make known. And I'm very, very, when I say very, very strong about that, that's one of the main things that I stress big time. That was instilled in me, and I want to make sure that that's instilled in any of the kids that I work with.
Okay, Starsky, so you have the 4 rings, almost 5. You have the Little League team. You're in school. I mean, you seem like you have a really full plate. What's next for you? Or do you have room for anything else?
Well, I mean, there's always a plate. I mean, there's always definitely more. I mean, like I say, I have dreams. I have goals that, that I still want to reach. And I mean, so pretty much after the whole football thing, it's pretty much, right now it's basically settling up, getting ready for a wedding or something like that. So, by the way, Medina, get ready for. So, it's, point blank, it's starting that part with, me and her definitely, getting ready to settle down, the right way and then making a family as far as for ourselves. I mean, because we're both pretty much real active in the community. She's a teacher right now at Gallegos Elementary. So we're both around kids 24/7. And that's one thing that we do with, working with kids because we don't have our own. It's something that we see that we want to try to keep the kids very busy, keep them active, keep them educated, and keep them out of trouble.
Well, we have 4-time champion Starsky Long, who's working on everything that you can imagine. He has his hand in about 5 different venues, but he seems to be keeping a really straight head. And it's something that other people could actually look up to and look forward to doing themselves in the future. So I'm Jacqueline signing off with the GCFA, and we'll see you next week.